Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on BloombergQuint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. Let's take a look at the headlines. Markets trade a little change on the weekly options expiry day. Metal stocks are the key drag. Mindtree and Amara Raja Batteries is seeing a surge in open interest, and both stocks are seeing fresh shorts building up. Chaturmohta is the top gainer on Nifty after UBS upgraded the stock to buy from a sell, also raised its price target. And metal stocks are the top laggards today after Alcoa cut its aluminium demand forecast for 2019, citing weak macro conditions. And weekly options expiry, of course, is something that we are also going to keep an eye on. But Navneet, how are the markets looking today?
Well, at least we've recovered from the opening levels. Agam, we did have an opening coming about in the red, but currently I think we're just marginally trading in the positive territory for both Nifty, Bank Nifty as well, which failed to touch its 200-day moving average. So there is some resistance coming in for Bank Nifty around the 200-day moving average, which is 28,800 thereabouts. And for Nifty, of course, how we've been discussing, 11,500 remains a key level to be watched. But very quickly, remember yesterday, though there was volatility, we did see a lot of gyration coming about. For the last 4 trading sessions, Nifty has been forming higher highs and higher lows, which technically is a positive sign. And in terms of index futures on both Nifty and Bank Nifty, we did see unwinding in yesterday's session. And just in 45 minutes of trade today, open interest is up about 3%. Premium is around the same level. Pull up Bank Nifty futures as well, 6% higher. Premium again maintained around the mark of 60. But overall, let's look at the broader markets as well. Market breadth was marginally in favor of the declines yesterday, and mid-cap and small-cap, both these indices are outperforming compared to the frontline indices. And as we speak, market breadth is positive, so that's a good sign. India volatility index has been cooling off for the last 2 sessions, which is a comforting sign for the bulls. And I think today is, yes, the third straight day where VIX has fallen. It's trading around the mark of 16. In terms of sectoral indices, as we highlighted in our headline, metal stocks are weak, so Nifty Metals Index alongside Nifty IT both are right now your top sectoral laggards. You've got our media and FMCG index where some bit of gains have come in today's session. So Nifty IT down about 1%. Media, I think owing to gains in Z yesterday and today, this index has been scaling higher, and also watch out for Z as it comes out with its numbers. So very quickly on the option side, today is the expiry day. What levels you should watch out for Nifty? In terms of distribution, of course, how we've been discussing, 11,500 is the call strike where maximum open interest is, and on the put side it is at 11,400. So that's giving you a range of 100 points to watch out even in today's session. We've seen a lot of put writing coming at levels of 11,400 and 300 right, I think, from the start of this week, and 500 Agam will remain as a resistance mark to be watched in today's trade.
Sure, absolutely. We'll be watching out for that. But let's move on and take a look at all the stocks which are in focus in today's day of trade. And of course, there are plenty out there, at least as far as the open interest increase is concerned. Mindtree is under pressure reacting to earnings. We do have weakness there, 19% increase in OI there. PVR is the one which is advancing by 1%, 12% added in open interest. Amara Raja Batteries, Manappuram Finance, and Interglobe Aviation, all of them losing out between 1.5% to 2%, with an increase of 8 to 10.5% in open interest towards fresh shorts. So keep an eye on some of these counters. Let's also take a look at some stocks which are seeing a decline. Actually, we have none, not too much. So on the whole, we continue to keep an eye on those stocks which are buzzing on the back of earnings, Navneet.
So a lot of stocks to keep an eye on, and on the show today we will be discussing 3 key stocks with our technical experts. And on the top of the list is Eicher Motors, which has crossed its 200-day moving average after UBS has upgraded the counter to buy from sell. It's also increased the target price to about 23,000. The other one, of course, we've been talking about the non-ferrous space. Hindalco is in focus. The stocks reacted negatively to news of Alcoa cutting aluminium demand guidance for this year. And TVS Motors, this one will be coming out with its earnings today. It snapped a 4-day gaining streak, and also the stock trades below its 100-day moving average. Okay,
there you have it. Those are the stocks where we're going to watch out for, but it's time to get in our experts. But before that, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options markets, you can call us on 022-454-0414, and of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. We have with us today Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth and Brijesh Singh of StockAxis joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you and thanks for taking the time out. Ashish, where do we go from here? 4 straight days of gains, possibility of today also making a gain. What's the way forward?
Good morning, Agam. So the broader, sense of the market is positive, and we believe that we are inching towards eventually to the swing high of 11,680, which we have formed a couple of weeks before, and I think broadly that's a target we are holding. Maybe today, if there's strength, or even if there's a dip, I would be on the buy side of the market till the time Nifty is above 11,380. I think the broad sense is positive, and at this point of time, 11,420 should be the trading stop loss for going long into the market. 11,600 is a short-term target one can expect, but eventually we expect index to cross 11,680 zone.
Okay, in fact, I think that was the level that we touched after the corporate tax rate announcement came in. Subsequent to that, when there were gains for the next 2 to 3 days, and from those levels, index had corrected. But currently at 11,480 for the futures. Brijesh, hi, good morning. What do you do from current levels? Today is the weekly options expiry day. The trend for the entire week has been on the positive side. Would you take a bet or wait for a meaningful move to come by?
Good morning, Navneet. No doubt I'll go with Ashish right now. What he has said, the trend is looking positive, and the chances are that the past swing high of 11,016 might be retested in coming days. Now, suppose if I take about the call of the indices, taking a view of a Nifty present rate of 11,480 or 11,470, if it trades in this range also, one can take a buy call in it with the stop loss of 11,390 and play for the target of 11,600. So I'm looking this target of 11,600 achieving by Monday or Tuesday. So for this intraday expiry of today's session, I would be avoiding of 17th of October. But definitely for the next week, if someone wants to play, then definitely one can go long. With the present scenario, the trend is looking positive, and the previous swings high may be retested. So one can take a long position with the stop loss of 11,390 and look for the target of 11,600.
Okay, that's the view coming in from Brijesh, and that's a positive view as far as the Nifty is concerned. But Brijesh, I come back to you on the stocks that are looking interesting to you in today's day of trade.
I have 2 buy calls, and both the charts, if I talk about, then the high lows formation and a trend line breakout has been witnessed in it. So my first call was Havells. So when I posted that call, that time the stock was trading at 677, and my target was somewhere around 689 or 690. Now, if I'm not mistaken, right now the stock is quoting at 682. So present rate at 682 or 680, one can take a buy call in it with the stop loss 674. And look for the target of 690 to 692 as the first resistance. And if we extend to the next level, then 702 would be the next level to watch. So positionally, buy call can be taken. We have to revise our stop loss and target. So the stop loss which we can look at is 674, and the target which I am looking first as 692, followed by 702. The second buy call which is looking on a chart is LIC Housing Finance from a recent swings low and in a shorter term time frame of the charts. Stock is looking promising for the buy side with higher lows formation. Trendline breakout has been witnessed in it. Somewhere around 374, 375 the stock has been trading. So one can take a buy call at the present rate with the stop loss of 368. Play for the target of 388. Time frame to hold the counter for both would be at least for 3 to 4 trading session.
Okay, so those are 2 long calls coming from Brijesh and Havells futures as well as LIC Housing Finance futures. Ashish, what are you betting on? You too have 2 long calls, and besides that, I also want your view on ICICI Pru. For the longest time, I think you have been giving a long call on that one. And yesterday was the day there was a strong move seen in all the insurance stocks. And for all our viewers, I think there's only one stock in the F&O space from this space, and that is ICICI Pru. So if somebody's holding the longs here, what would you advise them to do?
Even today's trading call, we have ICICI Pru. We have recommended it. On downside, I think now stock has entered into a 52-week high, and we have been positionally positive since the time the stock has crossed 340, 350 area. So it has really given a very strong returns, and I think this this trend is going to continue just because it has given a good 30-35%. One should ideally not look to book gains because there are few stocks which if you ride the trend properly, you can make very good returns. And I think that's the structure in ICICI Pru. Maybe for traders, I think 460 is important, but for positionally, those who are holding for a longer term, what is more critical is a 435 zone. Till 435 is not breached on downside, any dip on ICICI Pru is going to get bought into, and I think eventually stock is poised for a move beyond 520, 530 area. For traders, 460 is a stop loss, 485 is a target. For positional traders, 520, 530 is a target. On downside, 435 would be my positional stop loss in ICICI Pru. Apart from it, I think the entire consumption theme is in a strong uptrend. So this is a very, there is a concern that we are talking about slowdown, but Nestle is making all-time high, Asian Paint is making all-time high, Berger is making all-time high, Voltas is near 52-week high, you have Bata, you have PVR, everything trading at a 52-week high. So I think somehow there's some disconnect, but definitely from a technical perspective, from a data perspective, these stocks are seeing aggressive buildup of long positions. And within that, I think today I would like to go with PVR as a buy. 1820 would be my trading stop loss. 1910 is a short-term target in PVR futures. Dabur is a buy. 452 is a trading stop loss. 478 is a short-term target I'm expecting in Dabur as well.
Okay, well, a whole host of stocks out there coming in from our experts, and of course the big positive is that they're both playing stocks towards the long side. So there is positivity there. But on that note, let's move on and talk about a handful of stocks that Navneet and I want to talk about. And we'll start with perhaps Eicher Motors. We have UBS, which has upgraded the stock to a buy from a sell, and it's also hiked the price target at around 23,000. Do remember, Eicher Motors is one of those stocks which is has caused some pain when it comes to investors of late. But it has gained as much as 9% this week, and it's moved about its 200 daily moving average, which is always a positive, at least in terms of the long term. So as you can see, it's at around 20,000 rupees per share. It's up 4%. Its open interest is up as much as 9% today. Where do we go from here, and what's the way forward? Brijesh, this question is for you. What would you do with Eicher Motors?
See, Agam, whenever I see the stock trading below 200 simple moving average or trading above the simple 200 simple moving average on a daily or a weekly chart, it has a more weightages. Now, the stock, after making a low of 15,200 and after that consolidating in this range of say 17,000 or to 18,000, in between that, or precisely 16,500 or on a downside, followed by 18,000 on the higher side. Now it has given a breakout. And whenever this type of breakout is being seen on a 200 simple moving average on the closing basis, chances are that the stock might at least move to 3% to a 5% on the higher side. So the stock is looking positive on the chart. And even if I draw a Fibonacci retracement taking a weekly chart, the stock got corrected from a level of 33,400 around and made a low of say 15,200. So 23.2% retracement value comes at around 19,400, and somewhere around that 19,400 or say 19,700 is a 200 simple moving average. So keeping this two figure in the mind as a stop loss, chances are the stock can at least bound to the level of say 22,000 or say 22,500 in a short term time frame. So probability in for a 1 month plus point of view, one can take a long position with the stop loss of say 19,000 or say 19,400. Look for the target of at least 22,000, and once the 22,000 is being seen cross on a closing basis, at least the stock can see a jump to the level of 25,000. But initially for a short term trading bet, 22,000 is a target which I am looking for.
Right, that's the technical view on Eicher. UBS upgrade providing that fillip to the stock price in today's session. Let's move on to our next stock, and that's Hindalco, which has reacted negatively. Alcoa came out with its numbers, and they have brought down global for this calendar year aluminium demand estimate sharply. In fact, that's gone into negative, and the stock has reacted negatively to that. It's trading below its 50-day moving average. Ashish, I think in the opening session there are some signs of fresh shorting seen, but metals as a pack has not done well so far in this year. Is Hindalco something you would look at closely to create a fresh short?
See, for me, the structure is weak in these stocks. There are in between some ups and downs, but as a trader, as a investor, you are not making good money one day right, second day wrong, so eventually net off you are either flat or negative. So I think that's the reason I generally avoid taking bet unless the direction is clearly on upside. As far as weakness is concerned, still the downside momentum is also not very strong enough to suggest some major short side. For me, it is having a support around 178 180 area. If it breaks 178 180 decisively, that's the time you need to look for some kind of shorting opportunity. Otherwise, I think it's in a range at this point of time.
Okay, that's your view on Hindalco specifically, and we are going to take a look at another auto company and another two-wheeler company, TVS Motor Company. Its quarterly earnings are expected today. It's well, relatively flattish right now, and but there has, of course, been an increase in open interest. It hasn't really been spared the kind of pain that the auto sector has seen of late, but it's it's currently trending about the 100 daily moving average. We'll have to come back and check because it's come off in the green and the red. Yeah, at least it's about the 50 DMA, that's certain. So there you have it. But what do we do, and how would you position yourself perhaps before the earnings, or would you take a position at all? Brijesh, would you? Is there any trade here? Because we must keep in mind that we are expecting earnings today.
See, Agam, stock is still trading with the lower tops and lower bottom formation on the weekly chart. And purely from a technical point of view, whenever this type of stocks trades, the previous swing high has to be been crossed. Then only the pattern get nullified, and we can say that the stock has come out from this bearish zone and from a neutral to a bullish trend can be seen. Now 411 the stock has been quoting. The stock has given bounce from a level of 335. I would be looking as a stop loss 390, 395 as a stop loss. If it trades somewhere around 405, then one can take a a contra call on it. With keeping a strict stop loss of 395 and play for the target of 420 to 425. And if 425 has been crossed on a closing basis, then another 20 rupees upside can be seen. But at this juncture of time, 411, I would be avoiding because risk reward ratio is not in the favor. If it trades somewhere around 405, then one can play on it on a long side.
Okay, that's TVS Motors for you. Let's start addressing some viewer queries, and I'm going to start with DN Bhattacharya's query. So he just wants maybe a technical view on stocks like Tata Steel and Ultratech. Ashish, I'll come back to you since we've discussed Hindalco with you. Would you advise taking any sort of position? What are the levels suggesting for something like Ultratech? I think has been doing well. Yesterday also it was up and about, and also in Tata Steel.
So within the two, I think I would prefer Ultratech Cement, where at least some shorter term trend is positive. 4180 would be my trading stop loss for going long into Ultratech. On upside, 4420 is a short term target one can expect in Ultratech. As far as Tata Steel is concerned, it's in a range, and as I told you that I'll wait for a clear decisive breakout or breakdown to take any position, and I think it's far away. At least 4-5% kind of volatility need to be seen before taking any directional call in Tata Steel at this point of time.
Okay. Let's move on. We have another query on Reliance Industries. I think Lalit Akhare has been holding on to this particular idea of Reliance Industries, but this time I believe he has sold the Reliance Industries 1380 call for a premium of 25. His question is, should I hold till expiry? So he's made a premium of 25, but it's currently at around 33. Of course, the Reliance is exactly at 1380, and it's advanced today. That's possibly why he is making a little bit of a loss right now. Brijesh, is this a risky bet to take? Would you book your loss, considering it's about a 7-point premium loss currently? What's the way forward? What would you ask Lalit to do?
See, I would be suggesting to hold on. Presently at this scenario of time of 1380, the major call build-up has been there on the 1400. So keeping 1400 as a stop loss, or even the downside, the previous swing high was somewhere on 1392. Keeping that thing as a stop loss, hold on to your position. Chances are that once we might see a small profit booking, but let me clarify: the stock is in a bull trend. So you are playing a contra call in it. So keep a strict stop loss of 1392 and hold on to your position. Whereas downside is been concerned, stock has a nice support at somewhere around 1360 to 1365. It should not be get broken. And if I am not mistaken, tomorrow is a Reliance result. So be cautious with your position.
Okay, so stay careful. If you're making money, probably Ashish was also prompting, look to book profits if you are, because tomorrow are the numbers, so you can expect a bit of a volatile trade, right, Ashish?
So I think he's in loss, but the point is not profit or loss, it's just 7-8 points. But the point is tomorrow results, and if Monday, if there is a significant gap up,
Correct.
then you will get stuck very badly. And if still you want to continue with this position, then ideally you should buy 1400 call option to hedge your position of this writing 1380 calls.
Right. My bad. I think he's written the 1380 call. I thought he's bought it. All right, let's move on and take the next query. This one comes in from Sanjay Mistry, and he's bought Nifty with the stop loss of 11,453. Ashish, you've already given it a target of 11,600, stop loss of 11,420. But what would you advise Sanjay to do, to stay put with its long call on Nifty?
Yeah, so I think with 11,420 as an stop loss in Nifty futures, he should continue his position. 11,600 is my first short-term target, but if I see momentum, I would like to revise my target upwards towards 11,680. The ideal way would be once it comes around 11,580, 11,600 area, one should revise the stop loss from 11,420 to 11,480 zone and ride this trend.
Right. Okay. Well, RBL Bank is something that everyone has been interested in. We have Santosh Shinde. He wants the view on RBL Bank 240 put option. I may say that 240 is it's a bit away from the current market levels, but in case of RBL Bank, what is often happens is because the volatility induced, 20 point here up and down has become off late a tad bit normal, which is why the premiums will be much higher in general. One may also suggest that going short on RBL Bank is an easy trade, but is it? That's the question. Brijesh, would you buy the 240 put of RBL Bank November series?
See, technically, if I say, Agam, the stock is in the process of a formation of a doji. And when I say doji, that on a candlestick basis, it is generally downtrend. When the doji has been formed, it has been known as a reversal sign. So chances are that the stock had made a low of say 240 or 242. Chances are the stock might jump to the level of at least cat bows can be seen, and stock can jump to the level of 285 and followed by 300 zone. So buying a put at this juncture of the time, I would be avoiding it.
Okay, that's the view on RBL Bank. The next query comes in on Yes Bank, and Tejasvi Kumar Kothari writes to us. He sold Yes Bank Agam at 180, and he's been rolling over his position. He wants a view on that one. Congratulations, Tejasvi. There are very, very few people in the street who've got this call right, because at every lower level, somebody was thinking maybe it could bottom out, maybe the stock could recover, but that's not been the case. From 180, Ashish, it's 40. Should he be booking profits?
So first of all, I would like to congratulate. The point is not that a lot of people have not predicted this downside. Maybe a lot of people were negative, but the point is the conviction with which one is holding and rolling over the position. When you have heard the news of Paytm, when the stock moved from 50 to 70, then there was an QIP at 80, and all this period, if someone is holding, that's a conviction, and that really matters a lot. Only thing I would suggest is there is no signs of any reversal, but since the stock has seen a deep correction, I don't want to cut the position. Only thing is to hedge your position, just buy 45 call option for any kind of significant reversal, and if this news come after market hours, maybe next day they can be. So the idea is to keep your position hedged by buying a 45 strike price call option and continue holding your short positions in the future.
Yeah, sometimes I ask, after you made so much profit,
why would you stay put? Just book profits.
No, my question is, why would you even want to know about what anyone has to say? Just do whatever you want. But in any case, well, I suppose the general wisdom would be to also book profits
partially,
at this point.
At least.
Certainly partially, absolutely, especially when you're making so much.
That's because Agam and I are conservative. Let's move on.
Okay, so we move on and take a view from Samarth Goyal. He holds a short position in Indigo at 1721. Okay, he's got two positions, so I'm going to address Indigo first. He has a short position in Interglobe Aviation at 1721. Let's take a look at it. Let's split the question, perhaps. If we do have time, we'll come back to the next one. At 1721, it's currently at 1706. He's making a little bit of a profit right now. 9% increase in open interest. Brijesh, where do we go from here? What's your view? Should he book profit or hold on and trail stop losses?
Yeah, the stock has been getting seen a profit booking from a level of 1890 and 90, and I would be saying hold on to your position. Only thing is that revise your stop loss 1720 where he has short, and right now has been quoting at 1706. So keep a strict stop loss of 1714 or say 1750 zone. When the stock give or trades below a level of say 1700 for say 10-15 minutes, then we can see another sell-off rally which can take the stock down to the level of 1680 or even 1615. But keep a strict stop loss of 1714. Once this stop losses get triggered, then chances are the stock can even jump back to the level of say 1750.
Okay, that's Interglobe Aviation. Just going to squeeze in one last query, and this one's from Venkat Sai. Ashish, he wants to buy the 28,800 Bank Nifty put strike expiring today. It's deep out of the money right now, but what would you advise him to do? Considering it is the expiry day, there will be time decay and premium will fall towards the end.
Yeah, so I would avoid. In fact, since I have a positive view on Nifty, maybe Bank Nifty can underperform, but if Nifty moves up, there can be some positive contribution coming from even Bank Nifty. And even if it doesn't, I don't think it's going to fall significantly to make put option buying attractive. So better is to avoid any long in put options at this point of time.
Okay, just want to mark few stocks before we wrap the show. Indiabulls Housing, which was down 7 to 8% yesterday, has seen some bit of recovery, so that's up 5% right now. Motherson Sumi is up about 3%, and remember Ashish had given a call on Dabur. You've also got Britannia, by the way, which is inched higher in today's session. Of course, Berger Paints continues to do well, and recovery seen in M&M Financial, which was down yesterday. On the losing side, we've discussed Hindalco, but you've also got Nalco, the another aluminium player, which is down 4% in today's session because of unavailability of coal at one of their plants. Mindtree reacted negatively to the numbers, down 2%, and you've got Amara Raja Battery Agam, that in fact both the battery players, Exide and Amara Raja, are down in today's session. Okay,
there you have it. That's the view on, well, a whole host of stocks. And I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Ashish and Brijesh, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets, and of course solving a whole host of our viewer queries. But for more updates on the F&O space, you can also check our website BloombergQuint.com, specifically the futures and options pages.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.